Hello everybody! I'm Buke, my name is Noir and I tried to make Kitsune Dazai Cosplay. First of all, I'm so sorry for starting to record the video like this, I didn't fully think this through. I was making this tutorial as a TikTok video until I remember I had a YouTube channel. Anyways, as you can see, I take the full fabric which I already had cut into 18 pieces and start combing the 4 inwards. I do that in every pair and then I start pinning them together. After pinning them together, I start sewing them. I would have done it with a sewing machine, believe me, I tried. But mine is really old and couldn't hold it. So sewing by hand it is. After finishing sewing it, you turn it around. And the reason I brushed the 4 inwards was so the edges where I've sewn aren't sewn inside and it will all look natural as a kitsune tail. Okay, that's one. Now 8 more. And here you can see all the 9 tails finally sewn. And yes, I am once again brushing them so they get fluffy instead of this messy look. Brushing the sides is also super important. Now let's give the tails some colors. For that I use watercolor and acrylic paint. To be honest, it's just mixing some blues into the water until you're satisfied with the color. And testing it with some spare fur to see if you're happy with it or not. So we start brushing some paint. I do it with a toothbrush because I think the color will be better distributed. And yeah, I did it in both sides, completely forgetting the watercolor must dry. Anyways, this is how it looks already dried. I just brush it again so I can give it a second coat of blue watercolor. And this is the kimono I made. This is how it looks like. But it still needs some adjustments. It's time to sew, but as I've said before, my sewing machine is really old. Anyways, hello again. I have the kimono nearly done, it only needs now the final piece. It should have like a paw mark on the kimono so I can draw it. First I pin the paper into the kimono and with reference I make the drawing. After it's done, I just correct the imperfection I may have done. And with the help of a compass, I make a perfect circle. Then it's just some cutting. And sticking it with the help of a tape to the vinyl transfer paper. Again, just cut, cut, cut. And you finally have these beauties. So how does vinyl transfer paper work? It's just ironing into the fabric. You should put a piece of fabric so the heat won't hit directly on the vinyl. And with a bit of patience and ironing, the vinyl will stick. Finally, just take the plastic off the vinyl and it's ready to go. I also try to make kinda like a shirt of Dazai's bandages, since it's really tiresome to wear it and take it off all the time. It's just a turtleneck with a white cloth made into strips and then sew it, but again, I tried. But look at all the outfit. Now the tails. I really had a hard time with this one. At first I bought pool noodles, which as you can see I cut into pieces. A lot of pieces. And with an aluminum wire, I just stuck the pool noodles into the pieces to give the tails the shape I desired. But it was a total fail. The pool noodles were too heavy for the wire, it couldn't hold the weight. So I used the PVC method this time and cut them with a mini saw. They were 3 meters long, so I took the tails and measured the length to know where to cut. Since I made the tails with different lengths, I had to classify each tail with a number and I wrote it in the pipe. After the measurements, just cut, cut, cut. When you're done, you've got to mark the end of each piece. Around 1 centimeter. And then cut it into a half. With the power of heat, we're gonna mold this. So we're gonna screw it into the wooden board. People usually use heat guns, but a hairdryer works perfectly fine and is cheaper. It's also important to shape the pipes into semicircles so they look like tails. See, wooden board, PVC pipe, screw. Here are the 9 tails shaped. This wood thing also cut and shaped. And super important, screw, nuts and washers. So it's just making some holes with the drill, both on the wooden table and the PVC pipe. Introducing the screw, then the PVC pipe, and with the washer and nuts we stabilize the pipe in its place. My father helped me a lot with this project, so big shout out to him. This is how it looks like in the end. We also screw an adjustable fabric belt. And this is how it looks like in the back. I've put some EVA foam in the table so it wouldn't hurt my back wearing it, especially with the screws. And I noticed that I needed another belt because it was heavier than expected and it kept falling. Now it's time to put every piece of fabric in their corresponding pipe. Look how pretty it looked! This is before adding the plush. In my opinion, it looked better like this than with the plush. You will see. Here are the belts. It's time to introduce the plush. This is like 1 kilogram of plush, which I bought in 2019 particularly for this cosplay. It took me longer than expected to actually finish it, since everything about this cosplay was expensive and I was slowly saving some money for it. Anyways, this is just putting some plush inside, making sure to reshape it like the PVC pipes so it looks somehow natural. By the time I was done, I just glued the fabric with a silicone gun. I also added fabric around the back so it doesn't look ugly, covering everything. This is how it looks like in the end. Here I am wearing it. I might do a 360 so you can see the whole thing. honestly, it's not that bad. I like it in the end. I also made something like suspenders with the second fabric belt I added, so it was easier to wear and not that heavy. For the final look, I brushed the tails again so they will look super pretty. And set everything with a hairspray. Here is the final look. Pics taken by my lovely friend Nes Photox on Instagram. Follow me in Bucket Lobby or buy me a coffee. And thank you so much for watching.
Cigüeña.